Mayor Richard Thomas, nice to see you again.
Hey, good evening.
Mayor, we heard about a meeting today, budget meeting. Can you tell us a little bit about it, what happened?
Look, I'm pleading with the council and the Comptroller to change the negative narrative about Mount Vernon. And, we have a major opportunity to create jobs, clean water, smooth streets, but every time we turn around, they keep moving the goalposts further and further and further down the field. And today was another example of missing an opportunity on Super Tuesday to have a super budget that will solve many of the problems that we have, not all of them, but many of them. And they just chose to do nothing. And it's a bit discouraging, but I'm very proud and thankful for all of the support that came out from the public, from the commissioners, and especially the people of Mount Vernon.
Mayor, is the city of Mount Vernon running out of money or not?
At this point, we don't believe so. It just appears that there's a high level of incompetence, and there's also a high level of intentional sabotage by the city controller and the council president. And it doesn't make good for a relationship to have these elements. But, I said this to them, and I'll say it again. They don't trust me, and I don't trust them. But the people trust us to try and get this right. And when you look at the budgets, the Reynolds Wallace budget versus the budget that was developed by the commissioners, myself, stakeholders in the community, our numbers in theory are very close. They're at 1.93, we are at 1.95. We're just 0.2 away, 0.02 away. However, when you start adding back and peeling the onion of their budget, you see that there are many flaws, a lot of illegal moves, and also no money for Memorial Field in the Reynolds Wallace budget, no money for the Clean Water Act in the Reynolds Wallace budget, and there's no money in there that's going to help our kids and our seniors. So when you take into effect the totality of what they're pushing a budget against Mount Vernon. And again, the council members themselves said last week they don't like it. They voted under the premise of running out of money. And now that they know that Reynolds lied, they know they have an opportunity to come back to the table to fix it. And we're not that far off. So I don't know, what else is going to take, but I'm going to remain, aggressive. I'm going to remain passionate. I'm going to continue to encourage everyone to advocate for the budget that we put together with the people of Mount Vernon at 1.95%.
Now, Mayor, as this is going on, the people of Mount Vernon are suffering.
The people are suffering, but the people are also sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I'm sick and tired of the shenanigans that's going on. I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult to make a decision. We know we have to comply with the Clean Water Act. We know we have to comply with cleaning up the DPW yard. We know we have to fix Memorial Field. But again, when you look at the motivations of the council president who wants to be mayor, the guy can't even come and sit down and talk about fixing problems that we can fix. So when you look at the situation, it's a deliberate, intentional, politically manufactured crisis that we're facing, and it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way because the kids of this community, the people of Mount Vernon, are the ones that are suffering. And I'm doing my best to make sure that we bring a responsible budget that's going to stay within our means, but also bring people together to try and fix it. But it's very difficult to do when you have two parties at the table that have no intention of dealing in good faith.
Now, Mayor, clean water, thing that it's going on, and the Memorial Field, those items are no longer optional. You must comply.
And this is where it gets, really, really, really no rhyme, no reason. And there's no reason for the city controller or the council president to deny the obligations of Clean Water Act or Memorial Field. And I'm just, again, I'm not going to give up on trying to talk with them. I've encouraged them to come and sit down. My commissioners have offered to meet with them. We've offered to meet with them jointly, but every time we turn around, they keep walking away. But I'm not walking away. I'm trying to turn this on its head. We need to change the negative narrative. We can, but it takes a decision, a positive decision, an affirmative decision by the council president and the comptroller to let's find a way to meet somewhere in the middle. And I just want to be clear with everyone. Everybody asks the question, well, Mayor, your budget's 1.95. Why can't you just go with their 1.93? And I say, look, the retirement bill is $11 million. They only put in 8. They are shorting, a large chunk of the city employees' retirement benefits. That's wrong. The other part is they are eliminating job positions in the budget, which we believe are essential for clean water compliance. And 2, it's not legal to remove these people that have jobs. I mean, how can you just automatically say you're out of work because you don't feel like having these people around to do the work that we are court ordered to do? So again, they're testing the patience not just of the public, they're testing the patience of the judge who told the city council, come up with the money. And that's what I've been presenting, solutions to come up with the money that's affordable, that's responsible, that's realistic, and it's scalable. We're looking for a small start so we can finish big. And no matter what we've done, the city council has been, resistant. And I want to speak specifically, in this case, Council President Wallace has been very resistant. And I don't know what else to say other than he wants to be mayor. So he created a crisis. He claims he's the only one to solve it, and then tries to acquire the followers. People want authentic, real leadership. And that's something that I've learned in this role, and that's something that I've learned in life. You got to be real. And right now is a real time for us to come together to remove all of the nonsense so we can make sure we move this city forward.
Now, Mayor, people outside are saying that in Mount Vernon, in no time, is going to be Yonkers 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Contempt and judges enforcement, rules enforcement. How you see that? Is that a possibility?
I think when everybody has a chance to look at my official request to the Department of Justice to work with us on assigning a federal monitor to Mount Vernon, I think everyone will see why we must do this. We must do this because we're struggling with toilet paper being purchased for seniors. The comptroller is deliberately not paying that bill. We're struggling with paper, using copy paper inside City Hall. We have to cut paper. That's how bad it is.
Or bring your own paper to work.
And also the ambulance services bill for the city. It hasn't been paid since last November. These are major threats to public safety. The fuel bill, we have a new vendor that's signed on. They're cutting us off. So we're back at this point of where we are extending our business relationships, and it's hurting the city, it's hurting people. And we still have real sabotage, rubber gloves and gas tanks. Who'd have thought about that? Who would expect that going into a storm? But again, thank you to DPW, resilient, brilliant in terms of everybody coming together. But still, we're dealing with real threats to Mount Vernon, and I'm going to keep doing my best to change the negative narrative and focus on how we can work this out without all the drama. The drama is unnecessary.
Now, Mayor, since you brought up the gloves and the gas tanks,
Yep.
how did, not you, but people that work there, how did they come into the let's check on the gas tanks? How did they come about? Is there surveillance videos there, or?
The truck started to shut down. And when the truck started to shut down, thankfully the mechanics were able to diagnose what the shutdown was about. And they were able to, unfortunately discover the surprise of rubber gloves and a gas tank. And that's just, ridiculous. But nonetheless, that sabotage is real. It follows a fake bomb scare inside City Hall and a deliberate fire set inside the building department. It follows other threats that were made that some of the public may not know about, but it's still a pattern of some people, this network, I call them the alliance, corrupt alliance against Mount Vernon. They're real, and they are seriously not happy that I'm trying to make it better. They're not happy that I'm trying to spread the opportunities out for the rest of the community. And they're not happy that Mount Vernon is trying to not be oppressed anymore. I want to make sure that there's, room in the future for ordinary people like you and me. And the biggest room that I want to create is Memorial Field. It doesn't take that long to rent equipment, to start separating the dirt, to start complying with the cleanup order at Memorial Field. What it takes is a little bit of cash for us to pay the bill and rent the equipment. But right now, if you talk to TomCon, they're an in-city vendor. They're not going to rent to us. They're owed thousands of dollars. And this is a company that is here in Mount Vernon. How can we legitimately rent any heavy equipment to begin the cleanup at Memorial Field if the equipment bill is not paid? These are the little things that stop the big things. And this is where and why you see the constant fight in City Hall, because the answer's been no to everything by the Comptroller and the Council. And this is why, I dislike politics. I love policy, I love the vision of clean waters, but you're not gonna get clean water without going through the mud. And that's what we're doing right now, going through the mud.
Now, Mayor, just another minute on this sabotage thing. What do you tell your critics that are saying that this is actually, no one did this but you? They implying that this is your doing in order to create support for yourself. Any truth to this? You want to address them?
What? You see, this is how warped these people are. And, I'm raising 2 young children. And I want to make sure that they grow up in a world where you don't have surprises like rubber gloves and gas tanks. I mean, it's not something that you would typically see. I don't think that's ever really even been done. Like, I don't know where it's been done. So I just know that this is just another absurd attempt to distract and deflect from the fact that we're grinding our way forward. We're fighting for every single progressive inch we can get. And to all the critics, I think they're just, they're hating on the hard work that we're doing, and the results are the results. Crime is down, property values are in a much stronger position today than they ever been. All the street lights in the city are changed. And just think about that one single example of street lights. These critics are the same people that had, in my humble opinion, some kind of interest in seeing Mount Vernon not do the right procurement process. For example, the streetlight contract went to a crony of the prior administration, and it was going to cost the taxpayers about $8 to $10 million. I'm getting it done for $0. New York Power Authority is financing it, thankfully, and every single streetlight in the city of Mount Vernon, except for the decorative ones, over 5,000 streetlights have been changed over the past 5 months. Mm-hmm. I'm excited about that. That's savings, real savings, about $700,000 to $800,000 a year in savings on our electric bill. Those dollars can now go toward Memorial Field. They can go toward the kids, the seniors. They can go toward the programs that we need, like youth sports. But those critics, they just want to complain. They want to distract. They have nothing else to talk about. They can't debate me on an issue. They cannot see me on the facts. They can only come up with fiction and false propaganda. And you know what? It makes me feel good because I know that, these people are lying, and I'm going to keep swinging and trying for the people of Mount Vernon.
Now, Mayor, a lot of people, they're watching you, they're watching the council president, the council, and they're seeing all this bickering going on back and forth. But what people are not understanding is what is the root cause of all that? Because this seems to be more like personal and not thinking about Mount Vernon, not thinking about the city of Mount Vernon. It's just destroy you or your administration in whatever you do.
Well, I said this before and I'll say it again. The motivation of the council president is clear. He wants to be mayor. So he cannot make any decision that's positive for the people in his warped perception of reality, because he feels if he makes me look good, that diminishes his chances of getting elected. I see it the opposite. If you do good, you do good, and you should be rewarded for your good work. But I don't understand how people would expect me to not argue with someone that lies, someone that misleads, someone that does not speak in full truth. And I want to point out the fact that after Shamoya McKenzie passed away, this is the same group of people, this person, that voted to eliminate the role of police commissioner and 20 cops, but still had the audacity to try and say he wanted to make Mount Vernon safer. I had to roll up my sleeves and work with the police department on a weekly basis, and I still do to this day, to make sure that the operations were much tighter. And they were, going after a culture of community relationships, not one of just division and trying to arrest our way out of the problem. So it takes hard work. And for people that are out there and watching the two fools fight, I just want to point out, I'm not the fool. And I'm not going to be fooled by people that are trying to fool Mount Vernon into going the wrong way. We've seen history from time and time again show people cause crises to try and steal the public. I'm not going to let that happen. That's why I ran for mayor. I ran for mayor to move the city forward. And we've made great steps ahead, but we have more steps to take. And I'm just, again, focused on the great things that we've done, from fireworks to the Slide the City, to the City Fest, to getting interest from a variety of new businesses that have opened up here in the city, focusing on growing in our commercial tax base. The numbers show that our economy is growing. And these are all things that have happened amidst obstruction. So again, I'm going to continue to fight and work for the people, and I'm going to let my work speak for itself. And whoever else is running is going to have to answer, what did you do, and why did you try to work against Mount Vernon, specifically Memorial Field? So
Mount Vernon is moving forward and will continue to move forward.
It's moving, and it's definitely moving forward. Is it? Am I satisfied? No. It could be much better, but that's why we fight. That's why I make sure to approach every obstacle with passion and energy and purpose. And I try to make sure I convene the right group of people to be a part of the conversation, from faith leaders to business leaders to community organizers. And here's another example. This Thursday, as part of the Mayor's Healthy Home Initiative, we have a screening of Raised in the System by Michael K. Williams. And it's going to be a great discussion on how we can help juveniles, break the cycle of being raised in the system. So I'm proud of being able to pull in people into relevant, timely discussions that help our young people understand that there are other options out there. Help give our seniors an opportunity to, connect with our young people and really bridge the gap. So you're going to continue to see, a variety of stakeholders come out to make sure we do the work, and that's what we're going to keep doing.
May, is there anything that maybe you want to tell us that I forgot to ask you?
No, I think we covered a lot, and I think at the end of the day, the federal monitor that we're seeking is one that is going to assist Mount Vernon. It's going to help our city, and it's going to help our city from the poisonous politics. The toxic intent of the old guard is something that I never really fully, expected to be this toxic and to be this take this long to continue to fight. But I think at this point in time, where we have a council and a controller willfully ignoring the Clean Water Act obligations that we have in court, to have a council and controller willfully ignore the fact that we have to clean up Memorial Field, to have a council and controller willfully ignore the DPW yard mandates. These are all things that again, it's not pointing the finger, it's not blaming. These are the facts. No matter how many times I present a solution that's cost-effective, affordable, that comes with a grant, meaning free money, they keep saying no. They keep the money behind a plated glass. And that's what's wrong with politics today. People look at it as a zero-sum game. The people deserve much better. And the way I see it is, the way to break the politics, the way to break that glass, is to have a federal monitor come in and hold the out-of-control council and out-of-control controller accountable.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.